Let's talk about clamshell. It's a really common exercise for the muscles on the outside of the hip, particularly glute medius, those posterior fibers. An excellent exercise to do if you see someone's knees move in during the overhead squat. Ross, can you show the first version with no support under your low back? So as Ross does this, gets an okay range of motion. His heels are lined up. Ideally, when you're teaching this to someone, have their rear end, their feet, and their shoulders against the wall. And Ross, can you put your left hand like by your waist, by the bottom of the ribs, and go above it by about 4 or 5 inches? Yeah, right about there. See how there's an indent there? How his spine drops down below his hips. Gravity just pulls his spine and his rib cage down. Now, that's going to change the alignment of the pelvis and how the muscles work. So Ross is going to take that blue pad right there. He's going to stick it under his ribs, more so under the lumbar spine, to help eliminate that sag. So Ross, if you pick the hand up again and just put your hand where it was, if you guys notice, there's a much better alignment of the trunk on the low back. So this is a way to go ahead and teach someone the clamshell while keeping their low back lined up. And the ideal way to do this, which I just kind of came up with while playing around, takes a little bit more work, but Ross, if you could go ahead and move that pad, is you're going to engage the abdominals and do some lateral flexion of the spine. So his quadratus lumborum and external oblique are really digging in. So now his core muscles really have to hold his pelvis still, which is going to give him greater activation of his glute medius, which this is all about. And also the glute medius, Ross, if you'll touch the left glute medius, and we'll work along with the obliques, touch your right obliques on the bottom. They're going to work together. And can you show that space in between the floor and your there you go. See the space he's creating? He's doing that all with his abs and his low back muscles. But those muscles work in the opposite hip. Opposite hip is something called the lateral subsystem as we walk. So that's an important part of our gait cycle and keeping us strong in a single leg stance. So clamshell, if someone's knees move in, try it with that little pad under the low back, but doing this with the abs engaged like Ross is showing us here is really going to help with the alignment.